And if the insurance can't validate it, then we don't get paid. Having all that data, and then plus making it live data, is huge in kind of bringing all parties together on these projects to know exactly what's going on versus the normal of we get done and then the debates and arguments start about whether you should get paid for what you did or not, and did you get the documents. So now it's creating that transparency of it. It is what it is, and it's live in that moment. On commercial project, there could be 9 different adjusters involved in it, or different parties, right? And so it doesn't matter if it's one person you got to get the data to, or 100 on a job. That's the beauty, is that it allows you that capability to share that data. You get a change order on a rebuild or doing something, right? Well, it's cool. One person agrees, but if everybody else isn't in the loop, then everybody starts pointing fingers of who approved it and who did what. So it just eliminates the finger pointing of who did what, when, and where.
You have the layout, and then you have the relevant information kind of structured in a way that is digestible and suitable to that case. It's not, you don't have like all the information and then you need to find what's relevant, but you really have what someone on site judged to be, this is crucial.
Well, it's funny. I thought it would only take like a year or two, maybe. But everybody that gets to know software knows it obviously better than I do. It took a lot longer. So we started. We probably are about 4 years into building it, and then we've been selling it for about 6, 7, 8 months, is whatever it's been. So it took about 4 years to get it to where it is now. So yeah, like double the time I thought it was. And so my partners that are software guys just laugh at me now. They're just like, welcome to software. It doesn't go as fast as you think, and even then it was funny. They just laugh at me that I was like frustrated it was taking long. But when we really look at it, we move really, really fast. So like, all of our development team is in-house. We don't sub anything out. And so it allows us to move really fast. So like when we need something, we put our mind to it and add it onto the to-do list, we can get it done really quick. So we've been able to get it done really, really fast. And our integration with you guys went pretty dang quick as well. So yeah.
Your eyesight. And on the other hand, a little bit to the contrary, because really looking at your product and all this level of detail with the different data, with all that different readings, recordings, how you structure the output, it looks awfully comprehensive, or not awfully, but really amazingly comprehensive what you did there.
Yeah, I just think it took so long because it just kept opening up more and more things that we can get more and more detailed on, which, that saying, what is that saying? It's like the devil's in the details, right? And so everything, it just kind of translates back to the restore is we have to justify everything we're doing. And if the insurance can't validate it, then we don't get paid, and so it shows why we justified what we did. And then the insurance can then validate it to then, oh, okay, that makes sense. And so having all that data, and then plus making it live data, is huge in kind of bringing all parties together on these projects to know exactly what's going on versus the normal of we get done and then the debates and arguments start about whether you should get paid for what you did or not, and did you get the documents. So now it's creating that transparency of it. It is what it is, and it's live in that moment. So it really helps a lot just to eliminate that.
Interesting point, Lane. I think let's talk a little bit about this at maybe the end of our session. We hinted at it extensively, and everyone who's from the industry obviously knows. But guide us through, whom are you connecting with whom? Like, what info are you sharing between which parties?
It's really all parties involved. We've got features in the system to where, the most critical, right, is the restore to the client paying. So whether that's the client themselves out of pocket or the carrier, right? It could be subcontractors, it could be contractors, right? So anybody involved in the project, we made it to where that they can all be involved, but it's all dictated by the restore that starts the job. They get to control who they share the data with, when they share it with them. So it's huge just to, because, you go on commercial project and there could be 9 different adjusters involved in it, or different parties, right? And so it doesn't matter if it's one person you got to get the data to, or 100 on a job. That's the beauty, is that it allows you that capability to share that data. So if I got a client that wants to see what we're doing, well, I can send them a link. I can give that same link to an adjuster or a property manager. That's the beauty, is any parties involved, let's involve them so everybody knows what's going on, because that's where it gets rough, and especially the construction background. Like, you get a change order on a rebuild or doing something, right? Well, it's cool. One person agrees, but if everybody else isn't in the loop, then everybody starts pointing fingers of who approved it and who did what. So it just eliminates the finger pointing of who did what, when, and where. It just creates that all parties can be involved, no matter how many. And it again, making it for lack of a better term, but like kindergarten level, the KISS method. Keep it simple, so that you don't have to be trained, and you don't have to have your certifications with the IICRC to understand how to look at this. We've made it really simple for clients that don't know anything about restoration to look at it, or adjusters that haven't really worked in the field. It allows to bridge that gap of you can get a very sophisticated person in restoration to it, just and dumb it down to where somebody that isn't quite sure, it at least gets them to that level of understanding. So it's just simplicity is what it comes down to.
Yeah. And I mean, on this one, also, what I like to do with magicplan is basically just give a picture to what are the actual fundamentals, right? If you say, okay, it's a 1,000 square foot property with 3 bedrooms, well, there are probably 10,000 variations of that very description. But once you have that sketch with the actual readings and everything, well, then you really know the story, and it can be telling. Okay, this is a small bathroom, there is a big bedroom, and whatnot, and you start to talk about the same things. And that is one element. I mean, obviously with the meter readings there, it's becoming hyper specific, but just at this project level, that is really something what I thought was interesting or important at the very beginning. Once you have that floor plan, or once you have that detailed sketch, instantly you see, okay, is this a complicated job site? Is this easy? If you attach a couple of photos, then you really have the picture. And also, what I like is really to have a structure, because if you have just a selection of 100 pictures, it takes you an hour to understand what's happening. If you have pictures allocated to, they are taken in this room, they are taken in this room, you basically see it a lot faster. And that is this element. Okay, there is one person who goes on site, who is in the moment, who is present, and they themselves instantly can translate this into something that's readable to all other parties involved, right? You have the layout, and then you have the relevant information kind of structured in a way that is digestible and suitable to that case. It's not, you don't have like all the information and then you need to find what's relevant, but you really have what someone on site judged to be, this is crucial. And at the same time, you have a complete enough set that you say, okay, I'm really aware of everything that's going on, and I don't forget anything and need to drive back. So that is one of the elements where I say, make yourself understood, and this is the tool to do so. And for documentation.
And like you said, like the word instant, like you're saying, like no other sketch tool out there has an instant sketch. That's what's huge about what magicplan offers as well, right? And then when you combine that with our into clean claims, where you can't move on to the next step until you do it. So if I've required before videos or photos or whatever, you can't move on, and then it categorizes it automatically in that area. So combining that, it's again, like back to our conversation, having that combined and again, instant is huge. And, nobody else that I know of in the industry and the market can offer that besides us, and so that's a huge point.
And I mean, all of what we talk about still, I mean, the responsibility in the end lies with the person on site, right? So you also need to enable them to have that responsibility. So you need to put them in full control. They need to judge their own results. So they need to see their own results, because otherwise they can't do anything about it, right? They are on site. They are the one responsible to do that. We help them doing it, but eventually it's still them who are there, right? They need to take the picture. They
Yep.
need to do it, right? No one else is. It's them. So
Yep.
but you also then need to enable them to really judge. Okay, that's what I've encountered. That's what I've seen. I've looked at everything, and I also followed the processes. So now I can leave the site kind of completely relaxed or just worrying about the next thing, but not about what I've done
Yeah.
this past 15 minutes. Cool. Um,
Yeah.
Last one to wrap it up. What were kind of the biggest surprises, worst encounters, biggest mistakes for you personally doing that journey, stuff that you've observed in the industry? Any memorable moments on this one?
Good and bad, man. I think I make every mistake you can make. That's I don't know. That's how I've always had to learn the hard way in entrepreneurship. In businesses I've started, it's like, so I don't know, but I always take it as learning lessons too. It's like it's good. You're gonna fail more often than you succeed, right? And so that's what makes you get better. You can't just have something right out of the gate. So really, I don't really. I mean, I'm sounding super cheesy. I just didn't know software, and and I'm learning as I go. It's like I had the idea, and I've got the really smart people on my back end on my team that really bring the vision to life. My head developer Scott, were the best thing that I ever did was get in with my partners that I currently have that are from the software world, and then getting me tied into the right developers to develop this right correctly out of the gate. Because it was essentially like, all right, if we build this, we don't want it to shut down, we don't want it to lock up. So it was best decision I ever made was getting tied in. It's all about who you know, not what you know. So getting in with the right people was the best thing that I ever did. So I've had a couple developers that I thought were good and didn't pan out. So I guess that would be the mistakes but you don't know until you try. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. I can't really pinpoint. I think mistakes are good. It's how you learn. But the best decision was definitely like the people that I'm working with. It's like you can't do it on your own. So having that good staff, and I think anybody who owns a business can relate that it's all about the team and the members that you bring on, and the culture that you create to have people enjoy it. So that's what we're just trying to translate down as well.
Well, I mean, like, okay, the next one teed up perfectly, but for me, it's the same. Didn't know a thing about what I was getting into. Found my partner Robert, who definitely told me it's still crazy, but I'm going to do it, and he's still with me.
Yeah.
10 years in, so I'm grateful for that. That first of all, he was there, telling me
Yeah.
the decision was kind of crazy, but he's still with me. So that's fine.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Lane, thank you so much for the conversation today. I am really looking forward to our continued discussion, to the integration between the products. Next time, I'm hopefully making it out there to Austin or somewhere else again. I hope you have a great show. Say hi to everyone from the team. And
Will do.
Enjoy the pre-show dinner or drinks, I guess, tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me. I'll definitely pass the word on for sure. I'll tell everybody you said hey. So thanks for the time. I love fun conversation. This is where I geek out over these conversations. I love it. So it's been great.
And as we've seen that we tackle the same problem. Again, invitation, come over to Germany, come over to Europe. I know you have some business already here in Europe.
Yeah.
But maybe we can bring you to the old continent as well.
I'd love to come. I've actually never been to Germany. I've been to a lot of places, but I haven't been to Germany yet. So we definitely need to put it on the list.
We have one famous
event. Put it on the
calendar. We have one famous event here in Munich that international guests like. So maybe you will make it for our beer festival, Oktoberfest.
Oh, Oktoberfest! Hell yeah! We were actually talking about that. I definitely need to come over to the motherland of Oktoberfest. For sure.
Cool. Lane,
I'd love to.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thanks. See ya.